Welcome everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me, Zero, here with.
Right?
Dedicate.
Drago.
And the Little King.
Welcome to Kamen Rider Build episode 3. We have another new logo this week. This isn't going to be a thing, we're just trying to find the right one. I'm having trouble getting the image to the plane 9 to work here. The dots that go up and down with our voices. So we're gonna have to do this podcast without them. Sorry if you like looking at that. So, episode 3. Sento is explaining to Ryuga that someone named Nabeshima both tricked his girlfriend into setting him up for murder and kidnapped him from prison. Much to Sawa's disappointment, Mizora reveals that a lot of the information Sawa gathered on him was false. Mizora changes into a cutesy rabbit-themed outfit, revealing that she's an internet idol known as Mitan. She puts up a picture of Nabeshima, asking her fanbase for any information about him. Someone sends in a report of a smash appearing, and Sento sends off to find it. So first off, the whole explaining to Ryuga thing is really making Ryuga out to be more of an idiot than it should, and I feel like that's might just be for younger viewers to explain to them like that this is the guy that they're looking for because of all this. As for Mizora's internet idol personality, as soon as she did the change thing, even though she normally just changed clothes behind the curtain, I was like, is this another Poppy thing where she just changes outfits?
Yeah, a couple things. So first, going back even before the opening, these recaps we have with Sento and Ryuga, they're a lot of fun compared to some of the bland ones we've been getting. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they brought in another character if something happens to Sento or Ryuga. So yeah, those are fun. But yeah, that whole thing with Misora changing outfits and personalities, it caught me off guard, but it really shouldn't have, considering Poppy. But this will probably be less of a frequent thing. But yeah, that whole scene was done pretty well, from her putting in the fake tears to the shot of all the fan messages coming from the city to their landline blowing up, and then her fan getting a heart attack when she thanks him for telling her about the smash that was spotted. It was just done really damn well, and it was so over the top, it just made it even funnier. But it also was pretty decent setup, because right away Sento has to choose, alright, investigate Nabeshima or go save someone from Smash. And save someone from Smash, so that was pretty good.
Drago?
Isn't this supposed to be King's turn?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. What I when I saw this, when I saw the costume change, I was like, okay, I was a bit annoyed because I thought they were gonna do the Poppy thing again. But then, in context of what she was doing, it really was great, and it made sense as well. And so yeah, she's a YouTube idol. Okay. As far as the other guy, as far as treating Ryuga like an idiot is concerned, I think that's for kids to understand, because a lot of things in this what do you call it, in this show, whenever Bill does his last episode, Bill did the mathematical calculations for beating beating a giant robot thing. Actually, that was accurate. somebody actually did the calculations and then turned out to be accurate. And which so Bill might just be too smart for like younger viewers, and also the fact that they are going a bit more towards the mature side of Kamen Rider, and there are a lot of kids who watch Kamen Rider, so I guess this explanation was necessary. And the segment was pretty funny though, the with Idol one.
Fellow female internet, fellow female YouTuber, Halla freaking Luya. Oh my god, I love this so much. I freaking adored when Asuna and Poppy kept swapping. So this is absolutely perfect for me. I love it. And yeah, I gotta agree with Drago. He does seem a bit on the smarter side for kids, but I actually like that. It's nice that it can give some good tones for him, like frustration over being the smartest one in the room and nobody else understands what the hell he's saying. I think that's a really good touch they could maybe use later on. As they pretty much have now, since he's constantly having to dumb down stuff for Ryuga. And I know he may seem a bit on the dumb side when compared to Sento, but he's not technically thick in the head. He's just a bit reckless that it comes across as that. And I mean, other than that, I had a blast. I was dying laughing when I saw the whole Internet Idol thing. Like, if you have that many fans to the point that your landline pretty much blows up, yeah, I think we got information covered on our end. So, kudos to them.
Yeah, you guys have pretty much said like most of the good stuff, and yeah, I agree exactly. It's interesting, it's fun. Quintavis Lockhart says he's basically Poppy and Nico combined together, and like, yeah, I can see that. Where she has kind of like the changing gimmick of like Poppy, but like she's got more of a Nico style personality, so that's interesting. Um, okay, I guess you guys have covered all this scene, but what's been happening is like every recap is different because it's done by Build. um, Build and Ryuga, and like they don't really interact that much in this show because it's only been like 3 episodes. But I'm totally getting kind of like a like if you had like Shinji and Ren basically like narrating Ryuki. That's kind of the vibe I get from this. Do you guys have anything else to say on those?
I would also say that this also sounds like Kagami and Tendo relationship.
Yeah, that might be a little more accurate.
I would also say, like, what a genius idea. You need to find someone, just ask the internet. Because people out there know how to find people. It's crazy. You give them someone's, like, username on a forum or something, and they'll like, yeah, okay, here's that person's phone number.
Well, that's not even that hard, but um, yeah, it kind of reminded me of that the times they did this in Blade.
Oh yeah, would
where
they like, hey,
well, like,
we're looking for this one guy. Give a picture of him, and everyone's starting sending in pictures like, oh,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
here.
they're like, I love the biggest BS that they do in Blade. Like, oh, have you seen this picture of this guy? Oh, he's like my hero. He helped me out. I'd really need to get in contact with him so I can thank him. And it's like, that is such bullshit because what they're looking for is like Spade King, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did save Mutsuki's girlfriend, so he did save her life from those gang rapers.
I guess. But the thing is, like, Mutsuki's girlfriend wasn't the one who did it. It was Hase and, like, Blade doing it.
Oh,
Whatever.
Blade didn't
The
even
point
know.
is... Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, let's keep going.
Alright, so introduce Taizen Himuro, the Prime Minister of Toto and Gentoku Himuro's father. If you don't remember who Gentoku is, he is the the president of the Institute of, what is it called?
Okay, let's just
Advanced
call him
Matter
Evil Mustache
Physics.
Man. Okay, let's
Anyways,
just call him Evil Mustache Man.
uh,
Who, the prime minister or?
no, Gentoku because he has a mustache. Uh,
Okay.
he's the head of the Institute of Advanced Matter Physics, studying Pandora's box. His father is the Prime Minister of Toto. So Taizen is having a meeting with the Prime Minister of Hokuto, Taijimi Yoshiko, and the Prime Minister of Seito, Mido Masakune. They talk a little bit about how their developments are coming along, and it becomes clear that they have little interest in working together as a country because the Sky Wall is literally driving, like, dividing them apart. Like, with it in the way, it's hard for them to work together. So we are already getting into some of the political stuff in this situation here. Seems like Taizen is still interested in like reforming Japan, but the other two might have their own personal agenda.
Yeah, it was kind of refreshing to get some political stuff, even though it was brief. And it's nice that their government, for the most part, is kind of like the good government, and these other ones seem a bit shady for now. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, about I would say that at least by Toto State and Hokuto, like I feel like the government can't like two of them doesn't want to work together at all, and one of them is just trying like to unite the country back to Japan again. Otherwise, the and also the fact that the political situation seems very interesting in this scenario. Yeah, otherwise I have nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean, the political stuff was alright, but I do see the perspectives. Like Drago said, it's pretty friggin' shady, and really, I understand having these three as the prime ministers, but we gotta remember what they said when the Skywall first came up. All the crap happened with everybody who was there at the event. It was like some aggressive personality just clicked on in their heads. So I'm not sure it's such a good idea to let the people who have become extremely aggressive have complete control over a freaking continent. Not to mention the fact that they hinted at the end of that scene that they should start building up their military so they're not outdone. Again, could that lead to like maybe that's why the robots in the government are so friggin' hardcore? Well, more than I'm sorry, Rice correcting me. Parts of a country. Thank you for that. And my point is, are we sure it's such a good idea to let people who become extremely aggressive have control over parts of a country and a military? Especially considering what we've seen with the Smash robots. I'm just saying. And thank you, Rai, for the correction.
I mean, to be fair, that light affects people differently. It just kind of makes them a little more unhinged. And so, like, I don't know if the prime minister was there. Like, even if he was, like, he seems to be relatively stable. Like, he's kind of doing the, uh, like, Elaine's father from Ghost, where he's like, he's like the leader, and like all he wants is peace, and like it's questionable how well that's working out, because they're basically kind of ruling with like an iron fist. Like in Coast they were, but like here it's questionable. As for like the whole like, oh, should we really build up our like military again with like the other sides challenging us? Like that's weird, but it's weird from us. But the thing is, like, that's a very relevant topic in Japan because, like, Japan's kind of had this whole like self-defense force as a military for like 50 years, but like China and like Korea and all that stuff that's going on, it's like constantly having Japan to like question like should they just like get rid of this like peacekeeping thing and transition more to like an army that could go like overseas and stuff like if they need to, like should they become more militaristic. So like it's an interesting point of view because like uh Toto is basically like Japan, like current Japan and its problems. Where it's like they're like technologically advanced, they're peaceful or so they say, but like internally there's a lot of shady shit going on.
Uh, we don't know if Taizen was there, but Gentoku was, and so far he seems just pretty normal. Uh, so there is that. Build shows up to fight the Smash, who's attacking young boy. Sawa shows up and gets the boy out of harm's way, and sets up a camera to take pictures of Build fighting while commentating on everything he does, much to his annoyance. It's like that fly from Geki Ranger. When he defeats the
What?
Smash,
What about the fly from Geki Ranger?
the
Oh,
fly
the
that,
commenting?
yeah.
Yeah.
Commenting just as annoying.
If you haven't seen
No,
Geki Ranger, there's a
no.
fly that will like
I know
comment
who
on
it
the mech
is. I
fights.
watched Geki Ranger. I know who it is.
I'm
watched
saying for
Geki
like the
Ranger.
audience, anyone
Okay.
listening to this.
Okay, that's not that
Okay.
bad, right?
Okay. Is the fly okay? Anybody who doesn't watch Sentai is the fly from Jungle Fury
Yes.
who comments
Yes.
on all the Megazord battles.
Yeah.
Right, literally the same character.
Only she's more relevant.
I'm talking about
kinda.
the two. What? No, never mind.
Like in Geki Ranger, like he does become an interesting character, but like I thought he was fine. But the thing is, like I don't watch enough Sentai for it to matter to me. So for me, he was fine. But like I like Geki Ranger as a whole, so like
When Bill defeats the Smash and collects its components, it turns back into a human woman, the boy's mother. While they happily reunite, some onlookers pass by and see Build, who is a wanted criminal, so they wonder if he's trying to kidnap the mother and child. Sawa begins defending Build, but he just takes off on his bike. Which was probably the best decision. Like, yeah, I don't even need to listen to these guys.
I mean,
Decade.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not really much to say. I mean, yeah, the whole commentating and pissing Sento off was fun, but it is nice that the floating formulas are still a thing. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I guess they're probably not super expensive to put in. And as far as the monster designs go, they've been decent. They haven't been horrible, but they haven't been great. So hopefully they keep that up. But that's all I got.
Yeah, at least as far as this scene goes, that was pretty much that scene was a bit funny, in my opinion. That the commentary, then also the fact that the like about the onlookers like projecting like trash talking Build and assuming what he's doing is actually the just leaving and going is a much better choice because instead of explaining to the people like it doesn't matter whether he explains to the people or not, he's still public enemy number 1 or 2. So yeah, so as far as that's concerned, yeah, Bill did a good job taking off, and also the fact the mathematical formula still is effect that I did like.
Yeah, I like the math effects too. They may not make much sense, but they're consistent, so I do like that. The transforming on the bike thing was a little off-putting, but it was still badass. I loved the fight. I absolutely died laughing the whole time Sawa was commenting on the whole thing. I think the best part was basically when he's just yelling at her to shut up and he gets smacked for his troubles. I just love that he he's still a person either way. He gets affected by stuff that's happening outside the battle beyond just the friggin' battle. And I think that the fight itself was absolutely awesome. I loved it. But other than that, yeah, I mean, the running away from the people who were yelling at him, I mean, like you guys said, wise course of action considering the dude is kind of wanted on sight. So, yeah, probably a good idea to run.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's smart decision to run because like technically you could stand there and like convince them, but like you convince like two people, it's not gonna do anything. What it's gonna do is get your ass caught more likely because what if like the government guys just show up right then and there. Um, Also bike henshin, yes. Been a while since we had one of these. That's cool. Hopefully this bike stays instead of disappears after episode 4 though. Um, yeah, this it's gonna bring up a couple problems in this episode. The way he henshins. I mean, there's one, but that's later. As for like the commentary, yeah, that was super fun, and I kind of like that because like it gives the secondary characters personality. also, she rides in with the bike, huffing and puffing. I'm like, holy shit, Agito reference. I was like, ah, that's great. And then like they keep like throwing names of like earlier writers into the show, so I'm like, all right, either you went down and like wikied the names of writers and stuff, or maybe you read the synopsis. That's cool, or maybe it's just dumb luck. But whatever. Either way, keep it up, I guess.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the bike engine. I didn't feel like it was cooler because the pipe thing looks a bit weird, but since it's a bike engine, I would give it a 10 out of 10. We haven't had that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Did you have
And this
anything
is like more bike than we saw in X8 already.
pretty much, right? Like, I would personally keep the bike henshin over the stupid math formulas because, like, I'm like, you're just doing this because of the gimmick. It's gonna disappear. At least the bike henshin has a purpose.
Sorry. Back at the lab, the new bottle is purified as a hawk. Sento takes another bottle and inserts them into a device on the wall. It can test bottles for best matches. In fact, Sento's belt, he built it to also test best matches before he added in the function to henshin into build. Ryuga bets he could find a best match right away, so Sento challenges him. He's been working on a gun that uses the Gatling bottle. Ryuga tests the Gatling bottle with the new Hawk bottle and immediately gets a best match. Because under his reasoning, like, well, I just grabbed an animal and a machine won. This actually kind of funnily like angers Sento. He's just like, I do like calculations and formulas to figure this out. You can't just pick up two and try them.
Yeah, it was a decent redemption for Banjo and having to get the plot explained back to him. And yeah, it was just good writing in general. You know, sometimes smart people overthink things way too much, and Yuga kind of just grabs it on intuition. And it is kind of interesting that the form and the weapon aren't necessarily named off of the bottle, because the bottle is Taka, but Sento's like, oh no, Hawk sounds better, so I'm just gonna name it that. That was kind of fun.
Taka means hawk.
Yeah, I know, but I mean the form and the weapon use the English name, so just because Sento wants it to, so yeah, that's kind of fun. Instead of having to strictly stick to the toy.
Yeah, as far as Bill goes and having these references, good writing in general, and also why the heck did Bill not just pick up a ball and put it in there and try all of them out? He has a lot of spare time, I would assume. At least an hour. He would have finished all the bottles by then. But yeah, I did really like the fact that like he has to build his own. Like we have not seen like a machine get built. Even like on a drive, we had a little of that, but we haven't seen like the devices and the weapons get built in the show. Uh, I don't know
What?
when was the last time they
Drive
do.
literal. Okay, okay. Like the one thing that God damn it, I don't remember his name. The guy who wrote Double and Drive and Kyuryuger, I guess. Yeah,
Oh
like
wait,
the
yeah,
one thing. Yeah, one thing he likes doing is explaining where all the gadgets comes from. So like at least in build, like this is your sword and how it was built, and this is your form and blah blah blah, and like at least they build at least a couple drivers in build. So I'm like, yeah, it's been since Drive
drive,
since
yeah,
Drive that we've had it, but like yeah, most shows we don't get them. Like I remember in Kiva they always say like, "Oh, we're improving this," or like when they get the upgrade thing for Ixa, it's like yeah, like Shima just goes away and comes back and it's like, "Oh, here's your upgrade." Like we finally figured out how to get it to work, and like you never really see it. Like the only shows you see it is like Agito, and in Double it's
uh,
kind of more implied, but like Drive you
yeah.
actually kind of see it.
Drive,
But
you
go ahead, sorry.
see the scientist person do it. Yeah, and basically this is what I really liked about that, and also the fact that yeah, the intelligence redeeming thing is pretty much spot on, like they can say. Otherwise, yeah, I have nothing to say about this scene more. And oh wait, there's one more thing I noticed. You know that in the wall there's a place where you can use a best match, and then he has to collect all the best. He has to get all the best matches to something would unlock.
I did mention that device on the wall.
Okay, I think I didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
because you
the device in the wall seemed pretty interesting. I don't know. Is it gonna be like a web? Like it's gonna be a new gimmick or something after that? Like you get a new device and then you transform into, yeah, maybe it's a henshin device for Ryuga, or maybe it's like a new toy so that build can transform into something else. Who knows?
I think it's just a testing platform at this point. But one last thing, Quintavis Lockhart says Build already has like a best match of 4. So like his system probably worked. So he thought just let's just stick with that. Go ahead, King.
Thank you. Let me think. I think it's Rabbit Tank, Hot Gatling, Gorillamon, and Lion Sojiki, I think, is the 4.
Have we seen that one yet, or is that something we haven't seen yet?
Lion Sojiki? No, we haven't seen that one yet. We've seen Sojiki, we
Yeah,
just haven't seen Lion yet. I
Okay.
don't think he knows about that one yet, though. In any case,
Whoops.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
They didn't even touch on Lion yet, so well, besides the bike, but anyway, I like I said, the dumbing it down. I think it's kind of necessary for Sento after this because he's constantly overthinking things. I feel like that's sort of his. It's sort of like Q Ranger, kind of like Raptor constantly gets caught up in her imagination. I feel like Sento's kind of the same way in the fact that he's always overthinking everything. Like he's constantly thinking up different equations and different paradoxes. Why? Just do what Yuga did. You did it yourself last episode with the Gorilla Diamond stuff. I mean, it's not a complaint. It's just it's something I caught. It's a nice touch, and I loved Misora when she's like, "You wake me, I'll mince you," and then they're all yelling. She throws a knife at them. She just looks like a devil child. It was really funny. Not gonna lie, I laughed out loud at that, and the chemistry between both the two of them and those two with the cafe owner. I feel like those three have really good chemistry playing off each other, and that just keeps on showing, and I adore this so much. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they are really good actors. Also, that scene where like she kind of throws the knife. That's kind of that kind of gave me a little flashback to like the Kiva thing of I don't remember, was that a net movie or was that in the show? And like I think it's like Shizuka, because like Kiva's net movie is like Hell's Castle or whatever, right? And like she either gets possessed in that or in like the net movie she acts like she's possessed, or maybe it's in the show.
I think this
But
was the movie if you're talking about the castle.
yeah, but like I don't think she's in that movie. I think like for the net movies, they kind of made like a spoof version of that, and it's like because it's like it's King of Hell's Castle or whatever, right? Like that's arc. But like in her, it's like Queen of Hell's Castle, and it's just her being like super evil and controlling. It's mostly because like she's such a fun actress that she could pull that off. Yeah. As for like the best match thing, I think it was just for a gag. So I'm cool with that because like Sento does tend to overthink things, and so it's like it's a good progression for Yuga where it's like okay, he starts off as like an idiot at the beginning of the episode, like halfway through ish. They have this like scene where he's like, okay, he's not that stupid. Like, you know, he does have common sense and stuff, and like sometimes you just gotta simplify stuff. And then like later on, by the end of the episode, like it goes back to like, oh, you know, he's thinking more. Where it's like I didn't understand like Sento properly and stuff. So it's like a nice like tie-in through the whole plot. And then one more thing, like I like that scene at the beginning when like Build saves like the mother, because like it just pauses and then you look up and you see Build standing there, and I'm like that's really good suit acting because like you can tell like Build is smiling under that helmet just because of the body language. So good job, suit actor. Anyway, let's keep going.
As for the device on the wall, I don't think like something with that is going to happen when they get enough best matches. I think that's literally just a tool for testing them. Uh, at the institute, Sento asks Gentoku about the scientist Katsuragi, the one that Ryuga was framed for the murder of. Katsuragi was in charge of taking care of Pandora's box and was known as the Devil's Scientist. This is all the information we get right now, so I don't really have much to say on it right now. But it definitely suggests that there might have been more of a reason as to why that scientist was killed than just framing someone. So at the lab, Mizora has Ryuga chained up. Mizora receives information on Nabeshima, including a cell number. Ryuga breaks out of the chain so he can call him. He wants Nabeshima to testify to his innocence, but Nabeshima tells him that if he does, FAUST, the organization that's been experimenting on people, will kill his family, who are being held in Sato. Ryuga vows to free them. After he hangs up, we find out that Nabeshima was being forced to say all of that by Night Rogue, who really does have his family. As a reward for his service, Night Rogue uses Nabeshima for his next experiment. Yeah, this guy is clearly a villain. And also, this is just genius. Like, the good guys put out on the internet, like, hey, we're looking for this person. Villain sees it. Yeah, let's just use that as a trap. Yeah, I'll give you his number. Yeah, call him right now. I'll tell him exactly what to say. That's good writing and good thinking on the villain's part.
Yeah, it's nice to have the villains kind of doing things, even if they don't directly involve the main rider. They're like causing trouble behind the scenes. That's nice. Yeah, honestly, at this point in the episode, I was a bit concerned because, as much as I like the humor, I was kind of worried that it would be too lighthearted. But they did a pretty good job of turning it around compared to the last episode, which literally went from like Banjo and Misora being silly to his girlfriend being kidnapped and experimented on. That was a bit of a train wreck, I gotta admit. But yeah, these they did a lot better job transitioning in this episode. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, you know what? I actually found something super convenient in this. Okay, every time that you guys try to call someone there, that is pretty much good timing, I would say, Nitro, or that is, or it's pretty. What I think it's a problem with I would say it's a little bit of a problem with writing, maybe, but. Yeah, but the second one makes sense. The first one, when she's being experimented on, and Ryuga just calls her in the previous episode, and in this episode he calls Nabeshima, and then Nitro is right there. That is gotta be pretty convenient for both
Well,
Nitro.
It's implied that Night Rogue gave them the number to call, and he was just waiting for them to do it.
I mean, that could be true, I guess, but this is something that I feel really shows what Faust is made of because despite the fact that Build is constantly, well, besides fighting Night Rogue, able to keep up with what Smash has been able to do. He's been able to fight off the robots fairly easily. He's been able to wipe out Smash fairly easily, besides, again, Night Rogue and we'll later see Bloodstar.
Okay, King, you keep saying Smash like the Guardians work for the villains. The Guardians are just the robot police force.
True, but it still feels a little too convenient on their side, too. I don't know.
There are effectively like 3 factions right now.
Fair enough. My point is, he's been able to keep up pretty well. But so have the villains, because despite all that, they're still able to make their moves. Like, every time Ryuga and Sento think they get a lead, they're almost immediately cut off again, and then they gotta catch back up. So I think that shows a really good perspective from what the villains are capable of doing, not just power wise, but in the shadows too. I think that's really cool. And I love the gag that Misora doesn't trust Ryuga, so she keeps tying him up. She should know by now that's not gonna work, but if they keep that up, I won't complain because it's hilarious either way.
Um, yeah, it's interesting. Faust, like, okay, technically there's like 5 sides right now. Oh, who cares? Um, yeah, like the 3 countries, like Faust and like Build, so technically 5, but whatever. Um, it's interesting that like we're showing that Faust isn't limited to the region where Build is in because like they're holding not Sento, whatever, the guy who they call, like Ryuga called, like the security guard guy, his family in like a different part.
If that was
So,
true.
well, they're going there tomorrow, next week, so it's probably true. Well, the point is like it seems like the like Faust is has infiltrated like at least 2, if not all 3 of the governments. So like their unified force, or like it's very classic Showa stuff, and I kind of like that. I also kind of like how Night Rogue just like tricks them because like yeah, you're fighting like a super genius, so it'd be kind of nice if the villains were like okay competent, like which Night Rogue seems to be. So that's good. Um, I also like how he's like, oh, for your like valued service, I'm gonna, like bestow this favor upon you pretty much, and like our monsters, and that's like, uh, okay, yeah, that's straight up like a shocker move where it's like it doesn't matter what you do, like if we like you or think you're useful enough, we'll just turn you into one of our lackeys. Um, I mean, if it's not Shocker, it's definitely fucking Golgum. So yeah, still Showa era, which is good. Plus, oh, I guess that hasn't happened yet. So let's keep going.
So Ryuga dresses up as an old man and goes with Sawa to get on a boat that'll smuggle them into Seto. Wanted criminals have trouble getting passports, if you hadn't noticed. Guardians still recognize Ryuga and attack him. Ryuga fights back and realizes that the dragon bottle gives him extra power. Sento shows up with his newly finished gun to also help out. While they're hiding, Smash also shows up.
Yeah, wait. Was that the dragon bottle? Because it was blue.
That was the only one that Sento gave him.
Yeah, but he grabbed another one, I think, before he left. Because, like, the dragon bottle is red.
Oh, did
No, no,
Oh.
no, no.
No,
Dragon
it-
Ball is blue.
Dragon Bottle was like
Oh.
a more of a purple color? I thought. I was just assumed it was the lighting.
Alright, my bad then. I mean,
Okay.
one small thing. I kind of do like that, like, the cases of each of the bottles is, like, representative of what's inside. So, like, the tank one's all mechanical, and, like, Rabbit has, like, a rabbit on it, and, like, Hawk has a hawk on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Dragon Bottle because that was the one that was given to him. I don't see why he would just steal another one. While the three of them are all hiding from the Guardians, a Smash also shows up. So Sento henshins into Build to fight while the other two escape. The boat owner doesn't want Ryuga on board because he caused trouble, but his wife, the woman Build saved earlier, vouches for him, probably because Sawa is with him. Build uses his new best match, Hawk Gatling, to take out the Smash, and when he collects his components, it's revealed to be Nabeshima. As soon as Sento unhenshins, he's stabbed in the back by a cobra, who then picks up Nabeshima while Sento is distracted. Before passing out, Sento gets to look at some sort of cobra-themed rider. New form for Night Rogue or someone new? I think
No,
it's a new form for Night Rogue.
No,
No, it's someone new.
Oh, it is someone new? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because the three continuing rider villains that show up is Spider, Bat, and Cobra, or some type of snake. So they're using all three. I mean, like, Spider is probably going to be in a flashback or something. But like,
You know what? I have a theory.
Go on.
yes,
Spider is gonna be Build.
It could
that
be.
would be interesting.
Yeah, because when he's using when he's okay, here's you know how I got it. Like when he's just sucking the Smash thing out of the people, and then the gets it on a bottle. The bottle has a web design on it. So with that, I'm going.
Hmm.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Not
So
bad.
he's like the Spider Smash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean,
And
that would
yeah, Night. Yeah,
that would be interesting because we've never had like a bat theme. I mean, a spider theme rider. We usually get like even in Kiva, like Kiva is the bat, Bat Rider, and like Knight from Yuki, and Taiga is like the Snake Fang guy. So like you could technically throw that in, but like we've never had like a spider be a rider. So that's interesting. Go ahead, Drago.
yeah. So and as for with the at least as far as where Build is going, okay. Let me get my thoughts together. Yeah, Bloodstark is pretty in that guy. The other guy, the Cobra guy, is called Bloodstark. With what the names as that's what I was gonna say. Sorry.
So for the new form, I really like it. It's definitely something different. We don't normally get this kind of like flying gunner form. And I just think it looks good. I think the orange goes well on the suit with the whole hawk theme about it. As for Sento as for Ryuga going to Seto, you in previous episodes, you guys have talked about how he's kind of been getting like the secondary rider treatment, and we were told, I believe by Quintavis Lockhart, that Kamen Rider Claws is active in Seto. So maybe he is going to become a rider when he gets there.
We'll see.
Okay, go ahead, Decade.
Yeah, just one thing that was kind of confusing in the plot was when the lady they saved says like, "Oh, my husband rented the boat." I don't think that old dude is her husband, but I think her husband owns the boat and like is renting it out to that. That's just like the captain guy. I don't know that
Hmm.
because it didn't seem like he was her husband. But anyways, it's nice to have plot involved civilians. Typically, they're just pretty disposable, and it's all about the writer and the villain. But yeah, hopefully we get some more of that because it was really uh, pretty touching to have them return the favor, despite Kamen Rider being enemy number one.
Yeah, and also the fact I forgot to say, yeah, the Ryuga is learning as far as the rider thing is concerned, right? Him being a rider is concerned. He's learning slowly and slowly what it actually means to be a rider. As far as this one, what the thing is, whatever him going to say to and transforming into rider is concerned, he already has the full bottle of dragon. He has a bike, so only he needs a transformation device. It is more bike than X8. He has used bike more than the entire cast of X8 who have been riders. That's interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he does seem to be getting more and more like building up to becoming Claws, which would be awesome if they at least gave us a teaser of that. But hey, what they're giving us is fine by me. I love this form though. I mean, the wings, the gun, just the aesthetics of it, I love. And the Cobra, I mean, with Bloodstark, I'm not entirely sure if any of you guys were gonna point this out, but was anyone else reminded of Kamen Rider Oja?
Yes.
Thank you.
Honestly, his mask looks a bit chalicey to me.
When I saw the bad CGI Cobra like slide across the screen, I was like, Vino Snaker?
Oh my god, that brave crossover, let it free.
Amen.
Oh god, that terrible special did something, I guess.
But still, I mean, he looks menacing and effective. So, I'm excited to see where he goes with this. And it finally gave us proof that Evil Mustache Man is involved with this somehow because he knew about Stark. He had to have. And he had the rocket full bottle. How we get the match for it, I don't know.
But wait, what are you talking about?
In the limo scene where like Stark is making his move, he had a full bottle. He had the rocket full bottle with him.
Oh, I don't remember this. My mistake.
Yeah, as far as this full bottle thing is concerned, I think a lot of people do have, and so Mizora isn't the only. Wait, whatever. I forgot what her name is. Mitan doesn't have the only. Mitan isn't the only one with the power of full bottles, and other people have it too. Which is pretty good in my opinion because it levels up the playing field for both heroes and villains, and also keeps up with the Kamen Rider theme of them having the same source of power.
True. Still, though, I mean.
Also, wait. Just thinking. Wouldn't that be cool if the evil mustache man used the ball to transform into a Kamen Rider?
Oh my god, yes! Oh man, that'd be so badass.
Okay, I hope this series doesn't get crazy with riders. Like, honestly, X8 got a little overbearing, but not too bad. I just hope this series, like, maybe maxes out at 4 plus movie exclusives.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Till now, we only have one rider.
Well,
Yeah.
we've confirmed two, but the thing is, like,
Yeah,
Night
Night
Rogue
Rogue.
and this. Yeah, Night.
Nitro
No,
and
he's not.
Bloodstark
He's
aren't.
not a writer. He's
They are
not a
not
writer.
riders. Yeah.
It's kind of like a Shadow Moon thing where it's like they're almost writers, but we're not gonna give them the title. So I'm
True.
fine with that. Like the generals can kind of get like writer-ish forms, which is fine because then it just means like, well, they're built on the same technology. Like eventually they're gonna have something in common, you know.
It's
Yeah.
kind
So
of
I'm
like
cool with that.
it's kind of
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
Drive to me. They use like viral cores, but that doesn't make them roid moons, right? So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the show has been doing a lot of like throwbacks to Showa, and specifically they said that they wanted like Build and his secondary to be like Rider One and Two. Um, so they're throwing back to like real old school Showa stuff. So it would make sense because like like the first two riders were built for Shocker. So like they look a little different, but like that's because Ishinomori didn't want to make like his heroes look identical to like the villains. Whereas if you see like the first and the next, like you can see those guys came off the same production line as their like enemies. So maybe Build is kind of doing that, where it's like the only difference between a rider and like the generals or whatever he's fighting is like one fights for justice and the other fights for like whatever the hell they want. So self um profit, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but like they're just benefiting Faust while like Build is trying to benefit everyone, and that's what kind of this episode is, where it's like uh he's just saying like if it's like getting my memories back or saving people, like of course I'm going to save people. Like he doesn't even hesitate. So like that's totally what a writer should do or would do. So that's good. As
Mm.
for like getting a lot of them, like this show is gonna have like that wizard problem of like, oh, it's gonna have a lot of fucking bottles, or at least that's what I've heard. But considering you can use the powers and be in human form, it might be okay because like if Build kind of gives them out to like his support staff, it could work out so they won't need as many riders. Um yeah, and the only other thing I have left is like, okay, Sento, we saw last episode that you fought the Guardians and they have cameras in their eyes. Why are you shooting them with your fancy new gun?
yes, he could.
No, I know, but he jumps in the middle of like eight of them, starts shooting. I'm like, what? You use this stupid ass bike that nobody else uses. You work for them,
We already
and
established
now,
that those cameras are a topic of inconsistency.
yeah, I know, like so much plot armor. Like as good as Build's writing is, it's not perfect. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I mean, that might explain the like overly childish focused explanation at the beginning of this episode. Like maybe because this is the first like tokusatsu this writer has written, and like now he knows that the audience is much younger than like early Heisei used to be and stuff, because like declining population of Japan and other complicated issues. Okay, we're not getting into that. Um, but the thing is, like, maybe he's not fully used to like what his real audience is, so he's kind of having to like do both and be slightly lazy. I hope he like it's not a terrible problem. It's just like you shouldn't have made it a plot point
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
last episode if you're gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's the director's problem because a writer just wrote the script. I guess he would have transformed and come and shot them. Maybe the writer didn't specify and director did the everything else.
Lack of
And
Yeah,
communication.
yeah, yeah. It could be that because like the first episode had a lot of that problem. Um, yeah. What are you gonna do? Hopefully it gets better. I mean, like it's pretty good, but it's not like perfect yet. So
especially the
Room
comedy.
No kidding.
really. I mean, like I actually kind of like how underplayed the comedy is, but like maybe that was the last episode. Who knows? Anyway,
I'll
let's
let you
keep
go
going.
though.
We're pretty much to the end. What, King?
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, that was the end of the episode. So, if people want to give their final thoughts, if they have anything more to say, Decade.
Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, just finally, I thought it was nice that, and definitely unexpected that we bring in another major villain so damn soon. Usually we just stick around with, oh, Night Rogue, oh my goodness, Night Rogue, but damn, just stabbed right in the back and poisoned. That was definitely a good cliffhanger, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Stark differs in his villainy from Night Rogue.
Drago, any final
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, about the thing is that I can't wait for more episodes. I think that I've gotten over it. The build has been so good that I've gotten over Exade. Like I don't miss this show anymore. I'm looking forward to build a lot. That's about it. Writing is pretty really good in in this season, and this episode was comparatively not as fast paced as the previous one.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I enjoyed watching Xaid, but this series has more of an actual plot going on that's making me like actually interested in seeing what's happening episode by episode. Especially since Xaid's earlier episodes were just kind of like their own thing each by each. Zero, any final thoughts?
What King was gonna go. Um, my thing. Uh, okay, that's an interesting image. Um, my thing is like it's solid, but it's sort of that Kuga problem of like it's okay. It's not as good as Kuga, but it's kind of got that Kuga problem of like it's interesting and it's well written. It's just like it's not as fun. So like I'm not super excited. Like I don't hate the show or anything. Like it's solid, but like X8 was way more fun. So it's way more like the thing is like I feel like the show hasn't hit its because like it's been so much setup in these 3 episodes that it's like okay, like actually have fun and do your writer shit. Once it starts getting that, then I'll actually know what the feel for the show is because right now I feel like it's almost there, but something's missing. Where it's like, yeah, it's fun enough. It's a little like dry is not the right word. Like I don't feel like it's 100% there.
It's the writer aspect. Like I think the plot and the humor and the characters are there for this point, but like the writer aspect hasn't really hit the point of X8. Like on the edge of your seat. Oh shit!
Yeah,
But I'm sure it'll get there.
Wait.
it,
I'll have a defend build at least for this because you know X8 didn't hit the writer aspect until episode 12 or 10. Yeah,
I would
depending.
disagree. Like right on episode 3 when they had Brave, Snipe, and X8 fighting grunts. That was some good shit right there.
Oh yeah, right. Now I'm
yeah,
talking about as far as interest in the show goes. I wasn't interested in X8 until like episode 6 or 7 when like Gem got revealed, and then I didn't hit the peak of my excitement till episode 10. After that, I started enjoying X8 a lot. So yeah, my brother dropped out of the X8 and he refused to watch it anymore. My brother is currently really enjoying Build so far. So as far as enjoyment goes, like as far as how the show goes, right? I didn't feel for X8 till like a few episodes, and then for Bill it just clicked. But I do get like there's something missing in this show.
X8 felt like it had a bit more fun with its rider fights even early on. Build so far, even though like he's been really smart about his attacks and how he's been fighting and stuff, it feels more like a toy showcase than they're like having fun with it.
Yeah, that's what I was base. That's actually exactly, I think, the problem with it is like the character stuff is great. Like this would be a great drama. I mean, like what do you expect? It's from a drama guy,
which is
um,
good because
which
Ryder had been
which
missing
is.
from drama for a while. Drama had
I
been
mean,
missing
it's
from
fine.
Ryder.
The characters are good. I think the exact problem is like the fucking fighting is terrible. Okay, it's not terrible, but it's super boring. Um, whereas yeah, okay. The like there's no fun. Like Xaid kind of uses his powers well and in a fun way. Give me one.
Okay, yeah, I would say that. Wait, the thing about the fights in this, yeah, I do agree. This is getting the drive territory of power showcase with this less shift cars. But I would still say that the powers haven't been given as much importance as the story and plot, like many of the rider shows tend to do. Where, like previously, like every form getting a special like episode dedicated to it, which isn't the case in Build.
Yeah, I think the problem is like it's trying to be Blade, except Blade had whereas that's the only thing I think missing. Where like because it just goes to and then we have to throw in a fight scene. Like it's the Fi's problem, except like the Fi's suit at least look interesting. Whereas like Build is cool, but like his powers aren't interesting. Or at least they're not interesting to watch as they've been doing it because it's like okay, this uses so much CGI. Like we have to do it the most simplest way possible.
Except for
You
like the
know?
breach thing last episode. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah, that was interesting, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like they're using their powers. They're not having fun with their powers. They're not like it's. I guess it's the problem of like Sento is so smart. Like he doesn't need to choose. He just kind of knows how to win. And so the fights are like, okay, I just do this and I win.
He'll never
And
have the
like,
O situation of like, so which one?
so which one? Yeah, I mean, like, I think that is missing. Like, because the problem is like writers get to this point, like, okay, you either get to this point like a third of the way through or like halfway, maybe like usually a third, um, or you do like the wizard thing where like Hart has been fighting for like 6 months. Like he knows what the fuck he's doing, but at least those fights are interesting to watch.
Mm.
For all the problems of early Wizard, at least the fights are interesting to watch. Whereas this, the Kamen Rider side is holding the showdown, which is sad. But I'm like, all right, we've shown up everybody who's important for the most part. Like we've shown the basic gimmicks. Like maybe we can actually have the thing. Like I think the other problem is like the Smash show up and they don't do anything.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Uh,
you're totally
wait.
right.
That's true.
They're just like,
Uh,
oh, I exist. I'm like, that's great. Like at least even old school Showa and like monsters did shit. Like,
Remember that
what are
monster
you
in
doing?
Blade that killed all those children?
Oh god, yeah.
See,
Yeah,
he
that's
did
oh no,
something.
yeah. See, for a second I mixed that up, and I was thinking of the Kuga one, where like the porcupine one, where he like like torments them until like they're super paranoid, and then he comes and kills them.
Yeah, that was
Like
another good one
one,
though. Like, these
yeah,
guys are a
that's from
threat.
yeah, that's from Kuga. And I'm like, the Smash haven't done anything. Bill just shows up and beats him. Like this is worse than Fies, where it's like Fies is like, all right, I'm trying to make this drama, and Toei is funding me, so I had to put a fight in here. So where did these assholes come from? Whatever. They
And
just got recruited,
aren't we
and it's
averaging
boring.
2 Smash an episode right now?
Uh, yeah, it's insane.
Like,
Like,
none of the
how
Smash
many
feel any
people are they
different.
kidnapped? Right, right. I think the biggest thing is like we're trying so hard to set up the world, and it's like 3 episodes in. Like, why are the monsters even a threat? They're just people who lost their memories who have weird ability. Like they're not a threat. They're just slightly dangerous. And Build is so smart that like they have no threat. Like they haven't attacked anyone. Go ahead, Jordan.
Uh, I would say that I think they're gonna go for this the Smash not being that important, and it's gonna be the Nitro, Bloodstark, and all those guys being the main situation to handle, and I feel like this entire arc is gonna be like development for Ryuga continuously, and Sento is just gonna be there showing off his forms. Maybe later on in the next 10 batch of episodes, we'll get some good writers stuff. I would say. I think let the writer and the director get a hold of the grasp of what Tokusatsu actually is, and then we can continue. I still have hope for this series to be good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. Like it's good, but like it could be better. I think the problem is like they haven't really nailed down what the Smash do. And like as soon
Yeah,
as we get that done, then the series will really take off.
yeah, because I actually I if this they do the writer stuff well really well, then I would say that it does have a potential to surpass Exceed. Yeah, I'm done.
Uh, King, do you have anything to say? You haven't spoken in a while.
Nope, I'm good. You guys covered everything. I love the villains. I love everything. I really, really, really want next week. That good?
Yeah, it sounds like we can wrap this up tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Later, taters.
Good night, everyone. See you next time.